Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today we are doing a Nautical Mermaids wreath. It is super easy bubble method and it's perfect for beginners or experts. Let's get started. For today's wreath, I'm starting with a 21-inch deco mesh, and this one is 10 yards long, and it's this kind of, I like to call this peacock color because it's green and blue and this kind of aqua color in between. It does have some foil, as you can see, shimmering in between. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a bubble method. We are also going to use a 14-inch metal wreath form from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use this little measuring mat that's also from the Dollar Tree and some pipe cleaners. These really don't matter what they are because they are going to be quite hidden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these. These were from Christmas and they're green and they'll blend in really easily here. And I'm just going to cut the pipe cleaners in half. To get started, you need space to work. And so we need to move this little kitty. So Leo is going to say hello to everyone. Say hello, my little darling. And then he's going to go on the other side of the table, isn't he? Yes, he is. When I do a bubble wreath or that poof method where you're going in a spiral, I like to start and end with a zip tie to make sure that my wreath is secure. I'm going to start by going in 1.5 to 2 inches and gather. The background that I'm using right now is silicone, so on silicone, this doesn't really move too much, so I have to put it on something. After I gather, I always look through my little tail to make sure I pull out anything that is kind of a little bit too far going towards the inside. And then I'm going to start by pushing my deco mesh in. And I'm going to connect it on this little intersection. I'm going to show you in just a second here. I'm going to take this in the back to make sure that this part is in the back so it's not in our way. A few things before we begin. As you can see, when I started my deco mesh here, it is unrolling this way in a little wave. That's because when I'm making my poofs or my bubbles, it's just going to bubble up naturally, just like the mesh is supposed to be. As far as how big you want your bubbles, they can be anywhere from 6 to 10 inches. I usually go for 8 inches, and I have 8 inches right here. And this time I'm going to be using row 2. You can definitely use row 3 if you want a little bit of a bigger wreath. I want to use row 2 because I want a lot of this bubble to kind of fill up the center a little more. So I'm bringing in my pipe cleaner, 2 twists, bring it back. In the back, I'm going to do 2 more twists. Then I'm going to fold in half and fold back. And that's it. I'm going to be making 7 bubbles per section. Today is one of those days that I am fighting with this cat for the table. So I'm done with my one section right here. And Leah, would you please go out of the wreath? Thank you. Sorry about that, you guys. And so I'm going to open it just so you see what it looks like, because usually I open it when I'm all done with all the bubbles, and not everyone actually opens their bubbles up, but I like a softer look. So I'm going to open my bubbles up all the way. As you can see how soft this side is comparing to the, that boldness of the bubbles. If you are a beginner, and I know I have a lot of beginners watching this channel, this is such an easy wreath for you to do. And if you're a Dollar Tree shopper and only buy a Dollar Tree, all you have to do is just layer these. I'll give you an example. I'll add a video in the description box that has a Dollar Tree version of the bubble method that I do. And it is very simple. As you saw, all I do is make little bubbles and then you open them up. except with the Dollar Tree Deco mesh, you have to be very careful when you open them up. The 21-inch does make a much softer bubble wreath. I'm going to go ahead and continue doing the same thing over in the rest of the 5 sections. And as you can see, whether you're a beginner or you're not a beginner, this is a great method, easy and absolutely beautiful. I already did my last loop right here, and I want to show you how I'm going to kind of complete the loop. I'm going to cut off a tail that's about 2 inches long, and I'm going to send it to the back. Now we have the beginning and the end. I'm going to just overlap them, grab a zip tie. I'm just going to crisscross them just like that. Grab my zip tie and just tie it off. And of course, on the last loop, there is a pipe cleaner. And then this is just what was left over. I'm just basically making things kind of cleaner and putting them away. And I'm just going to kind of tuck the tails just like that, so it's nice and neat. I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to send this back a little bit so it's just hidden and it doesn't scratch anything. And now we are ready with our wreath form. I would love to invite you to follow me on Instagram if you're interested in some behind the scenes, some daily life, and of course a little bit of mischievous little fur babies. The link to all my social media platforms is in the description box below. The decor for this wreath cannot get any easier. So first things first, we have a sign. So I'm going to take care of the sign first. I'm going to hot glue the pipe cleaners to the side because it's about 1 inch thick. I'm going to take the sticker off. Then I'm going to grab my pipe cleaner, fold it in half, and then I'm going to make a little space right here so more hot glue can get in there. Going to put a good chunk of hot glue right there. Put the pipe cleaner right on top. More hot glue. And then I'm going to grab a piece of felt. You can grab ribbon, fabric, whatever you want. And you're going to put that over. This is going to give you a permanent seal. I promise you this holds real well. I like to use felt. And look at this, it's not even cooled. I can't even pull it because it's so secured. I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue all the little corners right here so it's just a nice clean seal. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side of the sign. I'm done with the sign. Now I'm going to grab this fish netting. The netting comes in a tube, so I'm just going to keep it like this and measure off how much I'm going to need and a little bit more. So as you see, I'm going about 2 inches off of here just because I want to fold it back, and I'm going to cut it. This end right here, I'm going to put a pipe cleaner over it, give it a few twists, and then I'm going to attach it to the wreath form. Now we're going to take our netting and cascade it down. Open it up how you like it, and we're just going to cascade it down, just like that. And here you can take it in sections, just like you see it right here. I'm going to take it in a small section, grab a pipe cleaner. I'm going to put it right around it, and I'm just tying it to the wreath form itself. And I'm going to finish off all that tying off a little later. Now we're going to see where we're going to put the sign. And this is what I wanted. I wanted the netting to kind of cascade down from the sign itself. So I'm going to put the sign a little higher. I'm going to attach the first one right there. The second one somewhere around there. And this is the part where you could put anything you want. Grabbing some stuff I picked up at the Dollar Tree. First, I got these absolutely gorgeous little stars. And then whatever shells you have. Some of these are actually from the beach. You can definitely do something like this. And then these I think I did pick up at the Dollar Tree. And just kind of put them anywhere you want, cascade them down, and you are going to have a beautiful wreath. Super simple, super easy, and most of all, absolutely gorgeous. And the shells, I'm going to hot glue right on top of my Deco mesh here. After I have everything set, I decided to cover up this little star right here. So I'm grabbing more hot glue and another shell. And I'm trying to cover this area up. And I tried to pick a shell that had some, you know, some coral stuck to it too. It's just going to look so pretty. The endings at the bottom, you can either tie them to the back or you can just hot glue them in place. Some of these short ones, I think I'm just going to hot glue to the back of the wreath.